What is the fire that drives me? My story is a patchwork quilt of experiences, influences, and heroes. I work as a technical writer and back-of-book indexer. My business is called Top Hat Word and Index. And indexing is an interesting combination of structure and creativity. It's like freedom within a framework. So both sides of my brain are entertained by it, and it allows me that freedom to be my own boss as a solopreneur, and it also allows the freedom of lifestyle. While indexing is very interesting and fascinating to me, it really isn't to 99.99% of the population out there. What's more interesting is the story of how I got here and the people that helped me get to the place I'm at. For many years, I was an urban planner, and that is the place where I cut my teeth as a technical writer and got most of my training. I worked mainly out of Arizona in smaller communities where the drama was usually, how do we put it? It was like bringing hot dogs to a house fire when you were going to council meetings and the work that you were doing had been modified because of the backdoor deals that had been cut on the golf course between the planning director and the developer. So when you're at a council or a commission meeting, it's kind of like a drunken kangaroo court, if you will. While I got a wide array of skills for my technical writing career there, I found that I could be better served if I was doing something on my own. I've never quite been a corporate fella, so I knew that I had to go immediately from, when I finally wisened up, from that of a planning career straight into being a solopreneur. It took me about 12 to 13 years to do that. And while I was in some interesting situations in small towns, I also spent 4 years on an Indian reservation and pretty much had to relearn everything that I'd been taught in school about Native American life and the way things got to where they were. And I hope that I was able to be of help, and that some of my friends back on the res think that I was of contribution in my time as a planning director with the reservation. I'd like to talk about my folks for a moment.
Right ahead.
My mother, who has a nursing and teaching background, and my father, who was a civil engineer and business owner, started their own business in the 80s and 90s as manufacturers reps. And so I've learned quite a bit and gotten quite a bit of my drive from the way that they took chances starting their business. My father used to make it a point, before he stepped into the office, which was in the basement of our house, to put on a button-down shirt before he set foot in that office. Not one single time did I ever see him downstairs with a bathrobe on. While that is a small detail, I think that it says a lot about the sort of man he is and the care that he put into his business. I've had many heroes that have influenced me through the years, and there's been a few cowards over the years as well, but we won't mention them. I think that Bisnick, which has helped me fuel my fire recently in getting my technical writing and indexing business off the ground, involves a group of solopreneurs that really understand what it takes to be successful. They've gone through the trials and tribulations of past careers in many instances and understand what it means to fail in addition to having successes. One of my influences, a writer named Neil Peart, says that we all pay a fabulous price for our visions of paradise. And I think that he hits a nail on the head with that. I think that a lot of folks can relate to what he's saying as far as going out on your own and following who you think you are and what you want to be. And I think that's the arrival for a lot of folks who are solopreneurs through Bisnick. It makes me happy to be on my own and calling the shots on my own, but also taking this patchwork quilt of experience that I've brought with me to this point that benefits me in ways that I would have never imagined. I also want to talk a second about heroes. I think that it's really important when you arrive at a place to recognize your heroes and to pay tribute to them. Share your victories with them. Let them know that they are part of what brought you to that place. Recently, I had a hero, an ex-NBA player who passed away, and he was a fellow that had a big influence on me when I was around the age of 9. He came to birthday parties. He even chased the burglar away when my father was overseas in the Philippines. And I really wanted to contact him through recent years and let him know how I felt about the influence he had me on those days that he was around and spent the time to be with me. And when he passed away, I felt a hole in my heart because I wasn't able to say those things to him. So I really want to impart to the audience how important heroes are and how important it is for you to let them know what they mean to you. Thank you. I wouldn't change any of my experiences, and I wouldn't change the road that I've been on. Most of my victories have come from many false starts that have led up to those victories. But the false starts were kind of fun too. And so I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I'm not afraid to fall on my face. I get up and I dust myself off and I just truck ahead and hopefully do it better the next time. I help authors and publishers sell books. Authors and publishers of nonfiction are going to get an index from me that follows conventions and styles, but is also chock full of creativity. There's a big difference between an index that is well written and has the entry points for the reader to get to the information that they need, and an index that's annoying. How many times have we been annoyed by indexes? You probably never thought about the person that writes those indexes, but a lot of time and care and study and reading does go into that. And I take great care in putting out the best possible index that I can. I like to focus on the developing green movement, as well as, of course, planning, architecture, and engineering, and the government disciplines and textbooks. I recently had a customer who put out a book about 59 different job experiences that she had, and I knew immediately that I had to be involved with her project, simply because I find that I latch on to personal stories and books based on personal experiences. I have an attraction to that. We all shine on.